Hello everybody, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I'm here today now to start turning all of my bits and pieces of stuff, collage and all the little ephemera, all of the little clusters and bits into now ephemera to go into some journals. I have taken the huge stack of collage papers that I made and a whole bunch of clusters and the belly bands and the banners and all those sorts of things. And I have also I've paired them up. So I've kind of curated sets of them and I've paired them up with a ton of digital kits that I have had printed or purchased and downloaded, but not printed yet for a while. And so this is going to do some amazing things for my craft area. We're going to get rid of, or not get rid of, but use up a whole bunch of the scraps. We're going to use up a bunch of the collage papers that we've made from the scraps. We are going to finally get around to using the digital kits that I've fallen in love with, or that I've had printed out, or that I've intended to get to but just haven't. So it's gonna force me to do those things. So not only is this, a project using up the scraps and stuff, but I'm also using up a whole bunch of prints and things that I've had out. Now over just on the end of my desk, which is I don't know, it's very long, it's 10 feet long, but on the end of my big work table here, there is a stack, this deep, full of stuff that I have curated into journals. So I've got journals for days and weeks and probably a month over there. So I'm just going to pop on and show you through how I'm working on some stuff every once in a while here. These first two journals, so I've curated, these are going to be two single signature journals, and it's using my one of my newer kits, my Torn Spring Florals. So it's using that, and then it's also some some Amity Bloom. Let me see if I just keep flipping past them. Some Amity Bloom papers. Yeah, so I've got one of, I think two. There's one. So I think I have two sets of her papers, and I had them printed out, and so I'm using those in this kit as well. There's another one of them, and then just some pattern paper that I had in my stash. So we're gonna make a cheerful, happy, well, two of them spring journals. So I've got that. I have got all of the little, so with those kits you get sheets of florals that you can rip out. So I have, because I decided that you guys would not want to watch me rip out 1,000 little florals, so I ripped those out already. I also, it just took me forever because my hand has really been bothering me. So you just no one needs to watch that. I also have my Cheerful Butterflies postage stamps and my spring flowers, my cheerful flowers here, postage stamps. I ran those through the scan and cut. So it cut, look at that. It actually has little postage edges. I have some of my wood and lace labels because I figured those kind of looked cute with this, and I had a sheet of them in the scrap bin, and it had one label cut out. What the heck? So I was like, well, we'll cut the rest of those up and use them. So I've got that stuff right here. I've got some lace and whatever. I've got some of these, which are in advance. In advance, I'm giving you a secret preview. Well, I think Dee Dee maybe did too, but these are some, you guys, luscious. Look at these. OMGZ. Look at this one. I didn't even print them all. There's a ton of them. Look at them. Embroidery. Oh, snap. That's pretty stuff. Those are from Glamping and Glitter on YouTube. I think that's her YouTube name, but Glamping Bear is her Etsy shop, and she's got some, she's just starting to put digitals in there, but these will be coming sometime in the near future. Her shop's on break right now because of all the craziness, but when it comes back up and when she gets a chance to, those embroidery sheets will go in, and I love them. They're going to work for several of my journals. So thank you Thank you so much, Amy. I'm going to link her channel below. She does, she's in the middle of doing like the alphabet challenge right now, and she just finished a journal. She's working on a bee journal that's quite beautiful. So you should go check her out. And so thank you so much for sharing those, Amy, because they're lovely. And I've already been kind of tearing them up and using them a little. So anyway, this is one of the collage sheets. So if you recall, I made, well, it barely fits on the screen. I made a whole bunch of collage sheets from all my scraps and my 12 by 12 and just 12 by 12 papers. So this is the back side of a paper that I just wasn't a huge fan of, the front. So I collaged over the front of it because I don't mind the card on the back, but I didn't like the design on the front, and I wouldn't use it, and was just sitting in my stash. So I have now turned it into something lovely that will be usable. And here's the other one, and they're covered with scraps, so I used up my scraps. These are going to be the 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. These are going to become the 2 covers to these books, and we'll do that in a different video. This is one of the scrap pages that I cut down. So if you imagine with me here, this is what it looked like about an hour ago, except not cut apart, right? So it was like a collage paper, a 12 by 12 collage paper, and I cut it into 2 strips, and I made those into tags, and I just rounded the corners and sliced off and cut them down into tags. And then with the strip that was left, I cut it down into, these could be journaling cards or pockets, depending on, you know, what I need in there. So we're going to decorate them this way as though they are pockets, because they could become journaling cards that way too. So I figure we can collage on some of these, and then of course, as I was divvying up stuff, I also divided up some of the like clusters that I had made from my scraps. So some of these might go, you know, some of the longer ones could go on the top of one of the collage pockets and become pockets and stuff. Anyway, those I'll decorate, I'll glue in later. But these are so fantastic because they are already totally collaged up, right? So now we can just kind of add a little bit to the top. And I thought some of the flowers and stuff that go with the kit to try and bring that theme then through the whole rest of the thing. So got my handy dandy glue, and I've got, so let's just pick a, I'm just gonna set these over here. Here's a tag, and let's work on zhuzhing them up. This is a piece of that Amy's embroidery stuff, and I just started kind of tearing it down. And because some of this stuff is, you know, like some of this is really bright. This like goes with the kit really well, but this is kind of bright. So if I want to hide a little bit of that, I can rip some of this down and have it not be so bright. Now you guys, here's the other thing that I am challenging myself to right now. I am not going to use any inking in this book. Usually I ink everything, but I feel like this is just kind of an exercise. You know, these are unprecedented times, guys. It's odds what's happening in the world. So, you know, I'm just going to play into the oddity and not ink anything. So now I've got this huge selection of florals that come with this. I don't know if I want to put purple because that maybe matches too well. I don't want it to like fade. So we can put a couple, maybe I want a smaller one. Yeah, see, my drive is to ink around the edges of these because they've got torn edges and it would be so fun to ink them, but I'm not going to do it. I will, however, be using cheesecloth because, you know, you can't take both from me. You have to let me have one or the other. So we'll, oh my gosh, you guys. That just happened. Hold on, I'm gonna pick those up really quick so I don't roll over them, because what I did was catch my scissors on the end. Oh, okay, there we go. Caught my scissors on a string from one of the clusters, and then they all just followed and went right onto the floor. That was precious. Okay. So we're just going to put some of this behind those. Should I put two separate pieces? You know what? I think I'm just going to put it behind one of them. Okay. So how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I had a lovely weekend. It was weird because I had been filming videos so often. It was kind of weird to like go for a little while without, like for 3 or 4 days without making a video. That was kind of bizarro. But I'm back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac for over the cheesecloth just because it works better. We did have a couple of friends come on Easter Sunday for Easter dinner. Now, they are people that are on my worship team, so it's like we already see them once a week for praise and worship. Whoops, that's upside down. What am I doing? Stop talking and gluing. Oh, now I did it. Everything's all sticky. Anyway, they're already on our praise and worship team. So we already see them once a week. And they live at home alone and have been working from home. And they needed some human interaction. So we had them over, and it was absolutely lovely. And it was just it was just really nice to have some like human interaction. It felt like I was telling my friend, we were texting, and I said, you know, it was like everything was kind of normal for a few hours. We were just hanging out, laughing. You know, we didn't talk about quarantine. We didn't talk about isolation. We didn't talk about any of that stuff. We just kind of had a normal, enjoyable, fun time. And those are too big. And that was lovely. And then they went home and, you know, we went back to our normal lives. But those might be too big for this. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, maybe we'll put a Stampy on there. That one goes sideways. Yeah, and then some ribbons on top. That'll be cute. Anyway, it was lovely. It was really nice. So I hope you guys all had a nice weekend, whether you were with family or kind of whatever you were doing. We did do a Zoom call with my parents, my sister and her family, and my brother and his family. So we did a Zoom meeting where we got to all hang out and see each other. That was fun. We got to see the little nieces and nephews. My brother has a little baby who's a few months old at home, so we got to see her a little bit, which is nice, but no fear of passing anything to each other. It just doesn't want to stick down. All right, so there we go. We've got a cute little collage tag. Then let's do the next one. So see how that brings it down from being like this super bright to kind of like muting a little bit, but it still has so much texture in the background. Awesome. So I think to bring it down a little bit, I'm just going to put another little strip of this on there. So Zoom was fun. It's fun because, like, you know, the little kids, they're like 7, what are they, 7, 6, 2, and the baby. It's fun. They get all They get all excited about being in front of the camera. So then they get goofy, and then they, you know, they're showing off. They're showing us all their stuff that they got in their Easter baskets, and that was fun. They were showing us how they had learned. They were having dance parties with my dad, or their dad, my brother, and learning how to do these dances the correct way and stuff. Cute, cute, cute. Oh, I also have some muslin over here. I suppose I could put some of that behind some of these too. That covers up a little too much. We'll just stick with cheesecloth. So the nice thing about cheesecloth is, like, you can see through it, so it doesn't totally hide the background. Anyway, so what did you guys do for Easter? Easter weekend, for the holiday weekend? It's kind of odd. This is the first time in history that I ever remember not being in church on Easter. Super weird that way. But then again, it's almost like this is starting to feel like our new surreal normal. I don't know. I start losing track of how long, you know, there are some channels, there are some like YouTube channels, or some people, or some of my friends on Facebook that are like day 24 of quarantine. I have not a clue how many days that we've been in quarantine. I suppose I could probably like look it up on a calendar and try to do the math or something, but I have no idea. And I guess official quarantine, or when they started recommending that we stay at home, because that's two different things here. Okay. I love these stamps. I might be partial, but they're cool. I got some Happy Mail from Sammy, Jared, the one who, or Gerard. Jared or Gerard? Sammy, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm totally slamming your last name the wrong way. There we go. There's another cute tag. Tag number 2. Anyway, I got some Happy Mail, and look at, I think I've got it over here because I was going to stick it in one of these journals possibly because I love it. It's really cool. She made a giant stamp. So like, here's my stamps, which I feel are big, right, compared to my hand. But here's like giant stamp. I love it though. I love it. It's super cute. And you must have done that with like fussy cut scissors on the edge, I think, Sammy, huh? This way. Sorry about that, guys. I thought somebody was knocking at our door, and I was like, what? That's odd, because nobody knocks at our door. I guess unless they're leaving a package, and then they knock and run. So, anyway. I don't know if I want these two. So, Sammy made that cool big postage stamp I was just showing you. Thank you, Sammy, for the Happy Mail. That was lovely to receive. I think maybe I'm going to go this way, because then this can just cover green. I like these cool looking flowers. Or like this, maybe. Nope, I like it the other way. Hold on, guys, while I have a moment of indecision. Yeah, we'll go that way. And I'll put cheesecloth under that one. Oh, so this is the end of this art glitter glue, because I ordered some new and it came a couple days ago. Happy mail to myself. That was pretty exciting. It was like I sent Happy Mail to myself and it arrived. So now I have a new bottle, because this one, you can see it's seen better days. So now I have a new bottle, and I'll get to put a fresh, clean tip on the bottle. Sometimes it's the little things, guys. Right? It's the little things we got to be excited about. Especially since we can't go to the craft store right now. There's nothing new to be excited about unless you can get it delivered to your house. Or it comes in Happy Mail. That's the other way to get excited about something right now. Ugh. But every time I squeeze my big glue, it hurts my fingers, guys. That's one thing. All of our non-emergent appointments, like doctor's appointments, have been canceled because all the clinics are closed. So the orthopedics appointment that I had been waiting for like months, got canceled. So now by the time they start opening clinics again, can you imagine like the crazy rush of people that are going to have to be like, so people that have had things that had to cancel, then people that have had things happen while they were here during quarantine and couldn't schedule, and then all the regular appointments that are already scheduled for that time. I was like, it'll probably be fall before I get to see anybody about my fingers. But that's okay. There are way worse problems that people have in the world right now. So my fingers not wanting to work with me is minor compared, right? Okay. So there's another one. Look how fast this goes when you've got everything already ready. Okay, this one's kind of pinky and bright. So let's go with, there's a big flower. And there's a smaller one. Maybe we'll just go with the big one and we'll put like a butterfly down on the bottom. I love these stamps. Just said it again. Now I sound like vain and self-promotional. Anyway, I'm excited to use up my old art glitter glue so I can open my new one. So how many of you, so I'm as I sit here, I'm looking over in this looming pile of journals that I now have like committed myself to making, is just right over there, and it's staring at me. And as I was putting everything together these last couple of days, I was just kind of curating the piles and pulling all the things out. And as I was doing that, I was excited about all the kits again, and it was hard to decide which one to start on. So then I just finally had to start with whatever I had on top, which was this stuff. But at the same time, it kind of feels daunting now. However, the fact that so much of the stuff is already pre-made, like, and I had the kits already printed, and I was able to pull some of my coffee dyed pattern paper, and so because I was able to pull some of that stuff out, it feels less daunting because it's almost like having, you know, journal kits already made, ready to go. But it feels like it's going to take forever. But that's okay. Nothing but time on my hands right now. Okay. So there we go. We've got 4 tags. I've got 2 piles of stuff going over here, so I'm going to just throw 2 into each pile. Well, I kind of messed up the one pile when I threw it all over the floor, but you know. Okay, let's do these. I'm going to, oh, hey, guess what, guys? Oh, look what I finally got. My friends, Dee Dee and Amy and Emily, were harassing me. Yep, I said it. You guys were harassing me about how I did not have tear rulers, and like all the cool kids do. So I said they had been in and out of my Amazon cart like 100 times, but you know how one of my hobbies is filling up my Amazon cart or just online shopping carts in general. Going shopping and filling shopping carts up in general, and then like not buying the stuff, right? Then my husband will want to order something for real, and he'll go, "Do you need everything in here?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, no. That's just my, I'm thinking about it, you know, pile." So anyway, these have been in and out of there 100 times, and I just didn't like ever really justify buying them for some reason until they started harassing me. Peer pressure. This is like crafting peer pressure. Although I must say, I am kind of glad to have them. I feel like one of these was a little taller. Yeah, that gets the pretty emblem. Oh, I really like those papers. Thanks again, Amy. Okay, so we'll put some of that over here. So now I have my tear rulers. So now I feel cool, like the cool kids again. Because, you know, I don't want to be caught using the wrong art supplies, the wrong crafting supplies. Okay, I'm going to try and get a label onto these while we're doing this as well. So let's see, maybe since I'm going to put a label there and then a floral. That one's pretty. Okay, now I just threw those all around. We'll do a label here and a floral with some cheesecloth there. Looks good. So now, as I'm doing these, you know, I did pull, so for some of these journal, you know, things, projects that I'm pulling together, I did end up pulling more 12 by 12s, but like I have a whole bunch of thinner 12 by 12 that I coffee stain. So I did end up pulling some of that out. Now, as I cut them down though, my attempt will be to use all the offcuts of those 12 by 12s up in every project that I do, so that I'm not creating more of a massive scrap pile to go back in my drawer. So I've got a few 12 by 12s over here, and I'll show you once I'm done with this one. I'll show you what I've done with them for this journal so far. Or not 12 by 12s, some of the cutoffs. Did I say that? Because when I was putting the pages, the signatures together for this, I did cut down a few pages, which again resulted in some cutoffs. But the cutoffs, so I've used them in a couple different ways. So here's like this will be a flip pocket. So these are 3 pieces of cutoff that I just turned into stacked pockets. And then I used some more cutoff as just an opening journaling card space in here. So that's that. I made 2 of those. Then I'm going to make a couple of them into over the top of a page tags like this. So that'll go down and get, you know, clipped on or something. So I've got a couple of those. So I am trying to use up all those cutoffs, and I'm pretty proud. I think I only have like 5 left, which I'll easily use making some more tags and embellishments for the journal. And then I'll probably use some of the skinny 1-inch cutoffs for tabs. I think I'm going to make tabs on the side of this. All right. Does that have room for a stamp in the middle? I think it does. This is the kit that I'm using. My Torn Florals kit is kind of just a really like layered up, shabby kit anyway. So having extra layered up collage-y pockets and stuff fits totally well with it. All right. So there's one. I'll put this down on this side. This is part of like a really old surveyor's map that came in Happy Mail from my friend Terry. Hi, T. She sent that to me in like the first Happy Mail that I ever got. It was a giant box of goodies. That some of that stuff I'm really hoarding still. I don't think that has an up or a down. Yeah, not really. but that was in there. It just has the coolest feeling to it, and I still have a bunch of it, but this was, I had used some, so I had little extra little bits and scraps of it, so I got to use that. It's a little too tall. That one's pretty. We can do that, and then we'll put some cheesecloth behind it. I think one of these days I'm hoping to get some coffee dyeing in. It's like one of my least favorite things to do, but I'm kind of excited because I have those pans with holes in them that I showed you in a previous video, the disposable like grill pans. So I am kind of excited to use those. But you can see that my excitement is outweighed by the by the fact that I don't like to do coffee staining. I go in phases. I think it's nicer to do it when it's nice outside, and then it makes it, I can have the windows open and stuff, but right now, come on. It's totally stuck to my fingers. Right now, Minnesota is in the weirdest weather pattern. It's like we've had 8 false starts to spring in the last few weeks. I think COVID, my husband said, COVID's affecting the weather. It's like we had a day when it was like 60 and beautiful, and then the next day it was 32 and sustained winds of 30 miles an hour all day, and like wind chill was almost 0. Then we had the next day it would be like 52 and sunny. Then the next day it would be freezing and windy and snowing. And then it got up to 70 and it was beautiful. And we had this beautiful, glorious day of 70, but you knew that that was just, you know, that was just to tease us, because now for the last 3 days, well, this last Saturday was gorgeous. The day we went out to record our music at church. And we were, you know, on our way to church, and we're just saying, oh, how beautiful it is. Oh, look at that butterfly. Isn't that pretty? We were just saying how beautiful it was on our way to church, and the weather was lovely, and so we were like, this is awesome. And then yeah, the next day on Sunday it snowed, like blizzard snowed, sideways snowed. I don't know. Now for the last couple of days, so now today is Tuesday when I'm filming this, and like every hour or so it starts like having flurries, and then it stops. It's like it goes, no, no. Nothing sticks because the ground is warmed up. Oh, just kind of can't. This whole COVID thing would be easier if there was. My goal here is covering up some of the little bit brighter stuff with little bits of this. So see how that kind of like tones it down right away. So yeah. Anyway, that's how you can use these big like collages. Say you don't like the, you know, some of the brighter, or say you made it bright and now you're using it for an application that doesn't need all the brightness. You can just collage 1 or 2 pieces that kind of go with the more of the style that you're making, and then still use them, because this is like a nice heavy weight for journal cards or whatever, you know, tags. Need to clean my mat. Let's see, let's go with maybe can we do a couple smaller ones on this one? And then like maybe a label in between, or a stamp. I think we'll go with a stamp in between. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm excited to try and make these into those collage 12x12s. I'm excited to try and make the covers. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow, or in my next video. I'm kind of hoping, oops, I just did that upside down. So now it's going this way. But here's the great thing. This, because it's collage, none of it, all the words and everything go in different directions. So, but now let me make sure I put this one on the right way. And then we'll see. We'll find a flower. To go in the middle there. I'll put cheesecloth behind the flower. That works. So I'm kind of excited to see. I'm trying to figure out for the covers if I want to put what I want to do on the inside of it, because you know the outside is fairly well decided with the collage, and then I'll just layer up some stuff kind of pertinent to the journal itself. But I'm kind of trying to figure out, well, now I'm covering up that hole. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Trying to figure out what I want to do on the inside of the cover. Like if I want to put pockets in there, because right now I think they're both just card, like, you know, craft color on the inside. So I think after I'm done recording this video, I might have a good stare at those and a little play to try and figure out. But I promise I'll do the making of them on video, so we can. But I don't want to have you guys have to wait for me like stare through the. Oh, this has got to go through cheesecloth. When I'm gluing over cheesecloth, I know I've said this, and I know that you guys are brilliant, and you already know this, but you got to put extra glue so it'll go down through the cheesecloth and stick to the paper underneath. So I don't want you guys to have to stay while I stare at my journal covers and try to figure it out. So instead, I will decide what I'm going to do, and then we'll do it together on camera. How's that sound? And I think I'm going to try and do, there we go, love that. I think I'm going to try and do another live this week, probably Thursday, which is also the day that I will be drawing for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway journals. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, hey, how do I get in that drawing? Well, go to my channel and find the link to that video and go watch the video. Those are too tall. Too tall. And get yourself signed up. That one's kind of pretty. That one's kind of too tall. Oh, that one's pretty too. And I could tear, that one's got some extra room to tear around. The other part of my project today is to finish reading the comments that are currently up on that video, because I got very moved when I started reading them last week and over the weekend, and I've gone back and read several of them a second time, and just love finding, whoops, just glued that to my table. I just love finding ways to find bits of happiness in this mess. Oops. I just bumped my, I've got hanging over here on the, can't let that go. That's going to be a mess. It'll get stuck to everything. I've got hanging over on the edge of my camera arm some of my flowers from Valentine's Day that are now fully dried out. And something that I want to try coming up is making like that faux handmade paper. I really want to try making some of that. I've watched now several people do it, and it looks like so much messy fun. So that is definitely on the docket as well. Homemade faux homemade paper, handmade paper. Let's see, do I want two and a butterfly? Yep, that works. Okay. So once I'm done with these, I am going to keep making a couple more of those over the top of the page tags, and then, oops, I'm going to put cheesecloth behind that. And then I will probably do journals, and I'll probably do one more video of just kind of how I go about like decorating things, you know, gluing things into the signatures or sewing things in to the signatures before I actually bind the book. I always, almost exclusively, decorate my signatures before I sew them into the cover. And if I have like a 4 or 5 signature book, I decorate each signature and then sew them all together. And I think that's just my way of doing it. Everybody has their own. Some people sew the whole book together and then decorate. It's totally whatever works, you know, whatever process works for you. But I decorate this way. I think it's just my way of like, then I can edit what, if I need to take things out because it got too chunky, way too chunky, you know, then I can. Oh my gosh, my fingers are getting gluey. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got 4 pockets ready too. So those made up super fast. So I'm going to put those in my 2 piles as well. Then what I will do, so I think that's going to be it for this video, I'm going to make a couple more of those, and then I'll come back in the next day or 2 here, and we will make the cover together, and then I'll show you how I just kind of decide how to put everything together into the signatures, and then we'll have that book ready to go. Sweet. This really actually is going really fast, faster than I would have thought. Oh yeah, this is the second set. Look how many of those florals you get. That pile's just for the first kit. This is the second kit. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about these. And I've got some other really great journal kits over there. And as I work through them, I'll bring you along on little bits and parts of those. And we're just going to work through some journals for the meanwhile. Oh, except we might stop and make handmade paper because that just looks like fun. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit today. Take care. And I will see you in the next day or 2 here. And until I see you, though, take care. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever side of this planet that you live on. And until I see you again next time, take care. God bless. Bye-bye, guys.